Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very, very, very unique exercise that I want you guys to participate with yours truly, the Good Doc, right? I want you to ask yourself this one question for me. And pardon me if it comes off a bit vulgar or explicit. I'll give you the trigger warning now. But would you fuck you? And this question applies only to my guys because I already know what the ladies will say. Gentlemen, you should already know what the ladies will say. And 9 times out of 10, let's be real, they'll find somebody that would, right? So this is a personal exercise between you, yourself, and you. If you choose to share it, that's when you bring the public in. But it's a personal exercise. And I want you to go to the mirror right now. I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to ask yourself, would you fuck you? Now, if you walk up to that mirror with an answer already in your head, whether it be yes or no, you didn't understand the assignment, ladies and gentlemen. So I want you to back out, go back in, clear your mind, look at yourself in the mirror for a good couple of minutes, and ask yourself the question, would you fuck you, right? I want you to think of where you are in your life right now. This ain't even a motivational video. It was on my heart. I just had to get it off my chest, man, and I'll let y'all go on about your business. I want you to think long and hard about where you are in your life right now. What you're doing with your life right now. Do you honestly believe that what you're doing, where you are right now, what you're trying to accomplish, dreams, hopes, whatever, how your physical presence is, how you look, all of the above, do you think that if you were the female or the male, who, you know, depending on how you rock, if you were the male or female that is looking at you, the way you're looking at yourself in the mirror right now, do you think that that person would fuck you? That's the question I want you to ask yourself. And if the answer is no, let's start with the no. I want you to figure out what it is that you can actually fix about you. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but let's keep it a buck. I do believe that a lot of guys do blame women for a lot of things that they don't necessarily need the blame for. Now, yes, there are some young ladies that require some accountability. But gentlemen, y'all got to have that same accountability about yourself as well. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, yeah, I could work out a little bit more, then you pretty much told yourself already the answer without telling yourself the answer. If you look at yourself and say, damn, I could find a way to make a little extra money on the side, make sure I have some bread for myself, be able to enjoy a good vacation. So I'm not going overseas broken shit and having to beg motherfuckers to get me back home. Oh, I'm going in tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It has to happen. Because I've seen too many guys, passport brethren, if you want to call them that, that are going overseas and broke as fuck. That ain't it, player. That is not the play, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't look at yourself in the mirror and say, yo, I would fuck me because I got my shit together, right? I may not be the richest mofo on the planet, but I got my finances together. Yeah, I could probably work out a little bit more, but I'm trying or I'm putting my best foot forward to at least work out a little bit every day if it's warranted or if it's needed. If you can't say that you're doing these things for yourself, ladies and gentlemen, then you already know the answer to the question. The answer is no. A young lady and or man would probably not want to fuck with you, let alone fuck you. So when I ask this question, I want you to dig and I want you to think deep. Because again, this is a personal exercise. This is between you, yourself, and you. Nobody's going to know the answer to that question but you. When you go into that mirror and you look at who you are you proud of what you are or what you're becoming or what you've become? For all of my guys who've, you know, gone on to the latter years of their lives, I mean, if they want to improve or there's areas for improvement, they can. But if you've already been there, done that, whether you had a business, started a business, retired that business, went into the military, retired from the military, or you're close to retiring and you already got your pension and all your stuff worked up. If you're already, I'm not going to call it the finish line because that's not a great, not a great metaphor or methodology that I want to apply to this situation. But if you're already at that point in your life where you've done what you needed to do to make it and you're maintaining, then you already know the answer to that question. Hell yeah. They get me, right? They want some of this, right? But if you're working and you're a person in progress, ladies and gentlemen, the progress really don't stop. It never really does. I am a work in progress myself, ladies and gentlemen. I am not where I want to be in a lot of different realms, but we're working towards how can we get there, right? That's when I can look at myself in the mirror. Although I'm married and I believe my wife would want to do me. I love you, boo. You know, regardless of what other girls think, it don't matter. But in reality, if I took out the fact that I was married and I'm in a relationship, long-term, whatever you want to call it, if I was still a single man today and I was out there on the block chilling, do I still attract the same level of women that I once did? Now, I'm not going to sit there and say Doc was getting them all. Hell no. It didn't happen. Didn't happen. Let's relax. Let's scroll it back. But the ones that were interested in me, would I look at them and say, yo, these chicks would be chicks that I would actually want to do if I was a single man, right? Do I still get that level of attraction from these particular young ladies? Not the quote unquote, with all due respect, the hood boogers and all of that shit. None of that shit. But the women that actually are respectable in the community and stuff like that. If I'm getting that same type of attention as a single man, would I still get that same type of attraction and attention from these particular young ladies? Question you got to ask yourself. But ultimately, this exercise is to do an internal audit, ladies and gentlemen. Look at yourself, looking within and say, yo, what am I doing right or what am I doing wrong? First, before you sit around here and cry and bitch and moan about, don't nobody want me, I want you to understand and think about the reasons why somebody may not want you. Now, I get it. There are some things about ourselves that we cannot change. Like if you have a physical defect, birth defect, whatever it may be, those are things that are probably going to be the hardest to try to change and or overcome, right? Let's keep it real. Like certain things you can't change about you. I would say your physical presence, but you can if you choose to work out and exercise, do a little bit of that. So I don't want to focus it purely on the physical aspect, but your mental, man. A lot of people will tell you, man, you can't take yourself to another country, your same self here in the United States to another country and expect different fucking results. You cannot do that because it's going to be the same result time and time and time and time and time and time again because there's a refusal for change. You ain't looking to change. You don't want to change. You don't want nobody to see nothing but who you are right now, who you are in the present, because I don't know what you've done to yourself. I feel like you've tricked yourself into believing that the person that you are right now is completely okay and everybody around you is the people that are fucked up, right? Oh, those girls don't want me. Psh, that's their problem. It's their fault they don't want me because I'm awesome. But if you've been turned down repetitively, right? If you've been turned down or rejected consistently, right? I mean, a lot of times, I do want you to take a moment and say, yo, could it be something that I could change within me, right? Because I remember going through a dry spell, right? I'm going to tell you the truth. I know exactly where I was effing up during my dry spell, right? And I'm going to keep it real. Again, I want you to know this was during the good doc single years, right? Early years of college. Beautiful, 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 wonderful time. For Marcus, of course, you already know what it is. But I do believe that my approach was just too aggressive, right? And I know this is where I was effing up because I could tell you within the first 2 or 3 texts, I'm trying to figure out if I'm a slide or not, if I'm going to get it or not, like how you feel about getting it in. And I knew this, but again, when you're going through a dry spell, you ain't thinking about it. You're just trying to get you some, right? Of course, without having to go to the bars and just pay somebody to do it like that. But, you know, you just want to get it in. Right? Just want to get your rocks off, get your mind right, right? That was pretty much all it was for most of us back in it. Well, for myself, I should say. Getting the rocks off was more or less about me getting it out the way so I can concentrate on what I need to focus on. A lot of people, it does consume their lives a little differently, but that's not neither here nor there. I shouldn't be telling Marcus's business like that. But in the meantime, in between time, I knew where I was effing up in the situation. It wasn't that I was a bad looking dude. It wasn't that, you know, whatever. It was the fact that my approach was just too aggressive, right? I was too forward and too straight to the point too quick. Now, a lot of people will say, Doc, there's nothing wrong with that because, you know, it's better you get to the point rather than wasting time. But you got to understand, and I know it's different for a lot of you guys than it was for me at that time, but I had time, guys. Motherfucker, I'm in college. I got 4 years of this shit. I had time. I didn't have to run through it because I was on a 2-week vacay. Or I was only there for a month and I got to get my rocks off with every girl that I possibly could. I didn't have to do that. But my mind was so focused and intent on getting it off that I didn't care. And that's where I was fucking up. And that's just an example, right? That's just an example that you guys can utilize and put in your piggy bank on things that I want you to personally assess within yourself, all right? Personal things that I want you to assess within yourself, all right? And I'm not going to drag this video on any longer, man. Do your self-audit, do your internal audit, and just figure out how you can make yourself the better person in all aspects, right? Financially, mentally, spiritually, the whole nine, guys, physically as well. Because ultimately, all I want to do is be the best version of myself that I possibly can be. And if you want to be the best version of yourself, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a grown-ass man, and y'all going to hate me for saying this, but if you playing video games all damn day and you a grown-ass man, that's a problem. And I mean all day, every day. You ain't even trying to do nothing else. That's a problem. I don't play games. My wife, she loves games. Call of Duty. There's a story that I don't want to tell because I was getting... We tried to play a team game one time, and I just kept getting shot. She kept having to save me and shit. It was bad. It was bad. And she was talking shit. Yo, my wife, it's another story. Yo, she's really good. But that's not me. That's not my energy. I'm out in these streets, right? I'm doing things, right? I ain't got time to play the fucking games. But if you got time to play games, man, you got time to get money. If you're a Twitch streamer, YouTube streamer, that's a little bit different. If you can make money off of it, please do. But if you can't, and you just out here playing because it's fucking fun, but you broke as fuck, that's a problem, right? If you're sitting on the couch 24/7 and you look at yourself in the mirror and you realize you put on a little bit of weight, but you're not even making an attempt to try to bring it down, whether it be changing the foods that you eat and or taking yourself to the gym. Because we all know that food is about 80% and the gym and the physical activity is about 20. If you're not even making a change in any of those particular aspects of your life, you got to understand that no girl want to fuck you. That's probably more of a you thing than it is a their thing, right? It's probably a problem with you, okay? So do your internal audit, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to let me know anything. I just really want you guys to be the best versions of yourself because I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying out here in these streets, man. I'm trying to be consistent with the video output. Trying to make sure that what I do in my secondary job, I'm pushing it as hard as I possibly can. Of course, the main job, making sure I'm pushing as hard as I can, trying to get all the bags that I possibly can because there are things that I need to accomplish by a certain age, right? Things that I want to be able to accomplish at a certain age. And you know what it's going to take for me to do that? A level up, right? But if you wouldn't fuck you because you dirty or you crusty or you dusty or you just... in the eyes of most women and or men, depending on your lifestyle, if a woman or a man is looking at you and they like, I can't see it, there might be something that you might want to try making an adjustment in your life. There might be some things you might want to adjust. All right, that's my time, effort, and energy, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all rocking with the good doc. I know what time it is. Time for the good doc to go and get to getting. Y'all take care, man. Y'all stay blessed, man.